day, everyone. Hello, how's it going? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. As you can see, it is now winter here in where I'm living. I believe the last mukbang I recorded was before we got the big dump, the big snowfall. So again, yes, I know, a little boring maybe. I'm doing a tofu scramble again, except this time I'm doing it with spinach, because in my last mukbang I was talking about how I wasn't really sure if adding spinach with tofu would taste very good. So the meal plan thingy that I'm following, I'm not really following it very well. I'm learning that I'm not so good at following a meal plan, okay? I like to have control in my life. Okay, so I wanted to try it out and I thought I would test it out right in front of you guys, all right? Because basically I had a friend that had responded to me. She had watched my video and she's like, yeah, she does taste good. She's actually anemic herself. I won't, what is that noise? Sounds like someone's whistling or crying or... Oh, it's a kid. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but anyways, I was like, is that a cat? Yeah, she says she's anemic herself, and actually, so that's why she started adding spinach to her tofu scrambles. I'm not saying I'm anemic. I have no idea if I am or not. I don't think so. I don't have all the signs. I think they're supposed to have these weird lines on your nails. I mean, I don't know. There's lines, but I don't think it's quite that. Anyways, let's just get to it, shall we? It's okay, but it needs more salsa. Yeah. So I got a bit of tomato here, some leftover avocado, because it's a little brown. So I was like, I better use that up. It's decent. Just put the toppings on it that you like and it'll be okay. So I thought in today's video, I was having trouble coming up with a topic, and I almost didn't go with this topic because it's can get heated. And it's also kind of a personal topic for a lot of people, can be very emotional. It's a little emotional for me and Jeff right now, so I'm not going to really go into too much detail with us about what we're going through or what we're discussing or whatever. But I think that the topic of whether or not people should have kids, or if I'm not here to tell a person what to do, okay? It really bugs me when someone tells some other people that they shouldn't have kids, and I'm like, I don't really think it's anyone's place to say that. But I think the topic and the conversation needs to be had. So I'm not an expert at this, but I just wanted to kind of get the conversation going, because I think it's good to have more of these more serious types of conversations of the pros and the cons, and whether or not people are actually, I mean, obviously some people just get pregnant and then it is what it is. So, basically some reasons why, I think that people should think a little bit more so about having kids is because, I don't know, with adoption, there's all these hoops you have to go through, right, in order to adopt. But then for someone to just get pregnant, then you could, anyone that's able to get pregnant. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that really struggle with this, of course. But then, yeah, there's no checks, there's no making sure you're psychologically okay. I really wish I had wrote down a list kind of thing next to me to kind of go over some key points, because I know I have a lot to say about this topic, but right now on the spot, knowing that people are watching this, I'm feeling a little frazzled, okay, under a little bit of pressure. I actually think it would be super helpful if everyone could get a psychological check, anyone that's been considering having children or something like that. And I think that it could really help if it's done afterwards as well, because it could help maybe detect postpartum depression early. So yeah, obviously like everyone knows that like having kids is a lot of work. Like this is what people tell you. They say it's like a lot of work, it costs lots of money, but it's always so worth it is what everyone says. And I just I honestly feel like it's the biggest decision anyone will ever make in their entire life. It's the one thing that's going to change your life the absolute most. And I think it's really important to like really write out and discuss all the pros and cons to it. So to put it into perspective, I've always thought I wanted children until a few years back when I was watching a documentary and it said how many people were on this planet, and I was like, what now? How many? Come again? I had to go look it up. I was like, are you serious? Because like when I was like in grade 4 or something, there was, I don't know, 6 billion, how many were there? 4 billion? I don't remember, but anyways, it was like 2 billion more. And I'm like, I didn't realize how much the population had gone up. That was one thing that kind of made me pause and start to reflect. But then, I mean, just talking over with Jeff and stuff like that and seeing kids, and I love kids. I love babies. I love being around other people's kids and stuff like that. I'll go and play with kids and stuff like that when I'm like hanging out with people. This is actually pretty tasty. I put a couple different types of BioLife cheese in here. So with salsa and avocado, it's quite nice. So yeah, discovering like how much our population has grown was one thing that just kind of started to get me like to stop. Like I had never really considered it too much. Like everyone always just expects a woman to have babies. Like I grew up like just always expecting myself to have children. I was always like, I want 2 boys and 2 girls, so then they each have a brother and a sister, because like I grew up with 2 older brothers, so I never had sisters, and I was like, I wish I had a sister. But yeah, so population. And then something more recently was when we adopted our dog Madonna. I realized how much work it was, and knowing that having children is way more work, I was like, what? And then also going from like being able to be selfish and like sleep in for as long as I wanted to and just like do whatever, and like you get to travel and just like not have to worry about like the responsibility of someone else. It was like fantastic. But now like it changes things, obviously, having an animal, and so it would be the same with having a child. And I think we all kind of know this at the back of our heads, but I don't know how many people like pause to like self-reflect on it a little bit. Yeah, so I don't know. Those are 2 of the things that are like kind of like making me pause a little bit. And I've never wanted to be, I've always like had a fear of like getting pregnant and like delivering a baby. Like ever since I was little, even I actually wanted to put like what I want to be when I grow up. You know, when you make those little plates when you're in like little kid school, what am I saying? Elementary school. I put down that I wanted to put down that I wanted to be an auntie, because I had 2 older brothers. So the girl next to me was like, you can't put that. And I'm like, what? So I put gymnastics teacher because it was my favorite subject, but I really wanted to put down auntie, okay? And I know having your own baby is like magical. Once they come out, it is like worth it. But I freaking hate pain so much, so much. And I don't know. It's honestly super annoying how many people will just tell you it's worth it. It's worth it. And I'm just like, can you please just shut up for a minute? Like, it's getting kind of annoying. And I've heard it so many times. And also, I'm a massage therapist, so I do massage people while they're pregnant. And yeah, I know the pains that they're going through because they talk about it. Some of them don't really talk about it, but the ones that do, they let it out. Okay. I would prefer to adopt. Jeff isn't so interested in that though, so that's not really an option for us. So like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail of like that because that's kind of personal and something that me and him should just discuss, and we need to have several conversations about. So while I'm going through all this and thinking about all this, I'm just like watching as my friends and family members start to have babies and stuff like that, and everyone's congratulating them and so much excitement, blah blah blah. But then like months later, after they have their children, they're making posts saying like, where's all my friends? How come nobody's inviting me to things anymore? I think that like you just get feeling isolated, and it might not. Sure, yes, I do think that there's some people that maybe they don't invite people over because they don't want to have like a crying baby at their house maybe, or like they think, oh, it might be a little bit too hard for this person to come and hang out with their child, like they'll probably just turn me down. Or maybe they've invited you to a couple things and then and like after you've turned them down a couple times, then they decide to stop. Like I don't really know the whole situation for everyone, but I really do think that like sometimes I feel like parents and like moms and stuff like that put themselves into this bubble and think to themselves, I can't do this, I can't do that. You can, it'll just be a little bit different. Like I said, like you'll just have to make sure to have like a diaper bag that you bring with you everywhere, and like when you're traveling you have to do like child friendly things and stuff like that. Like keep into consideration that it'll be hard to like do a big hike, for example, with like a baby. Excuse me, unless you've kind of like trained for it. So I just don't think people like really talk about it enough. Like everyone always just talks about the goods, and that's what the point of this video is that everyone only talks about the good, and it's only in like super private conversations that every now and then you'll hear about the bads. No, because like if people feel guilty, they don't want to like talk about how much of a struggle it is to be a parent and how they feel like they've given up so much of themselves. Like I've decided to private message with a few of my friends, and they said, you know, once their kid has gotten to be like 6 or 8 or just whatever, a lot older now, they're saying that they're starting to find themselves again, but they felt so lost for so long. And so like I said, I'm not telling people whether you should or shouldn't have children. I think that's a very personal decision for everyone, but I think it's like the biggest decision you can ever make. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here. I think I would be a great mom, but do I want to be a mom? Do you want to be a mom? Do you want to be a dad? I don't know. It's just something to self-reflect on and go back to that. Like if you don't have if you're dead set on yes or dead set on no, then that's great, fantastic. But like I'm finding out that there's a lot of people, they weren't dead set sure. They weren't sure. So they had like several discussions with their partners, and or they went through the pros and cons and everything like that, just with themselves. Like say if you don't have a partner and you're thinking of adopting. And something that was brought up to me, and I think it's kind of stuck with me for a bit. One of my friends made a comment about how the single most environmentally friendly thing a person could do is to not have children. Because like there's a lot of people that say, well, I'll just raise them vegan and to be environmentalists and stuff, and I'm just like, but even still, for one, they might not stay vegan or environmentally friendly type person. Like when they grow up, they might just be like, right, just get that out away from me, I don't want that anymore. But like another thing you have to think about is that like every single human that's created, one, could create more humans, and two, it's like they all need stuff. You all need food, you all need a house, like somewhere to live, like car, like some sort of transportation. Like I know people can take buses or bicycles, but at some point like they're probably gonna have a vehicle. I don't know, like they and like cell phones and just like all these like throwaway things. So I don't know, it's just gotten me to like thinking a little bit more about that. And yeah, I still haven't come up with my own decision of like what I'm gonna do, but yeah, these are just things that are like making me pause in my tracks and like think about it a little bit more. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with choosing to not have children and choosing to put yourself first and choosing what you like the way your life is right now. You like the idea of being able to get up and be like, hey, let's go to Hawaii tomorrow. You know, like if you have the flexibility within your job to be able to do that. Or like to be able to plan for it and just like, let's like go live in another country for a while. Like, I mean, I know you can do all these things when you have children, but it changes things a lot. And like with the population being as high as it is, I'm like, I don't really feel as big of a need or an urge to procreate. Yeah. So I don't know if I really want to go any deeper than, I feel like I'm just going to be going in circles a little bit right now. I'm pretty sure that I have more to say on this topic, but I'm trying to be careful not to go into too much detail of the struggles that Jeff and I are having like with this kind of conversation. Eating the bell peppers fresh instead of cooking them with it. So to try to simmer down a little bit, I'm going to move on to another topic. So I was really excited in my last video saying I was going to be going to pole dance on Sunday. So it's this upcoming Sunday. Today is Thursday. But unfortunately, when I was massaging some clients on last Sunday, I got a blood blister. It's not as bad anymore. I'm letting it kind of dry up. Jeff said that it'll dry up and like kind of just slough off. He apparently has quite a big, he has lots of confidence that he would have been able to like pop it for me. I think it's not advised for a person to do this, but it's probably because most people don't do it properly. But he was saying like you just have to go under the skin and underneath where it is and then go up a little bit and then that'll help release it. And then obviously with a sterilized needle. Anyways, so I just figured like trying to grip the pole might be uncomfortable. Unfortunately, I don't have a pole at the house to be able to like test out and see if it would be uncomfortable. Like right now, going with this feels a little uncomfortable. So I feel like with metal, it might actually hurt. And then it would just suck to be like in a class that you already paid for and be like, oh shoot, actually I can't do this. So I'm a little bummed that I'm not ready for that yet. Apparently when I get into like a topic that takes over my brain, I don't actually also eat. I'm like, oh, I still have lots on my plate. After a bit, this spinach is growing on me. It's not terrible. I'm starting to like it, being with the tofu. Yeah, and then for that radio contest that I was talking about in my last video, the bear, they're doing the secret sound. I don't actually know. I'm pretty sure it's going on still. The last few days I've kind of somewhat stopped listening in and trying to get in because the guess of like blowing into a microphone has been guessed. My brother's guess of like pushing down on a typewriter button has been guessed. A few things have been guessed already, so I'm like, I don't know what it is. My mom had another guess. It was something to do with like cutting cardboard. Was it that? Something to do with scissors. No, with like not cutting cardboard. It was using a paper cutter. Pushing down on the lever of a paper cutter or something like that. Because like, I think the person had only guessed paper cutter. They did not guess the action to go with it. She was thinking that or like opening or closing scissors or something. But as far as I know, I think she's still trying. But I needed a break because it was taking over my life, and it's hard when you're working full time and trying to like exercise, trying to make food, trying to like walk your dog. And just, so maybe that's what it would be like times 100 or times 1,000, like to have a child. Just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for it. And I don't know if I want it. I don't know. Anyways. So I'd love to hear from you guys, like what you guys think and just be real honest about like some of the struggles that maybe you had like when you were a parent, like first thing, or just walk a person through your day, like while you have a child. That's what my therapist told me to do. She told me to like reach out to people and ask them to like walk me through their mundane day, like from when they wake up to going to bed, like what their life consists of, and then that way it can kind of like help you picture what to expect. Prepare yourself if you're interested and weigh it out. So yeah, I am still trying somewhat to do the meal plan, and I am also trying to exercise, trying to follow those exercises. He's given me like 4 days of exercise, and then in another week, because he does it for 2-week intervals, he'll give me another for like 2-week thingy to follow. And then on top of all that, I'm supposed to walk 6,000 steps a day. So the last couple days I did not walk Madonna. The first day was because it was so cold out. Like that's when we got the big dump of snow. I'm like, that would be cruel to walk her during this. And so that day I went and got her some cute like hoodies. Hold on, I want to show you. So she came with this. Jeff, like since we have her in a muzzle because she's reactive to other dogs, and then put this on. He likes to call her battle dog when we're walking her. But anyways, it's kind of loose on her, so it doesn't really protect her belly, and being like a pit bull mix, like she's got very short fur, especially on the belly, like she has hardly any fur. First girly thing that she's got, because we put her all in like red. He wanted everything to be matching. She came with like a pink collar, but Jeff got a red collar because she already had a red harness and a red leash. Oh, this is so cute. So this one's Canada Pooch. Oh yeah. And then this one's nice and warm, and it's easy to get on and off. This one's a little bit harder to get on and off, but this one's super easy. It's got like the Canadian thing. It's just super soft and cozy, and it's long enough that it actually covers her bum a little. So cute. So I thought these would be nice to put underneath like that camo jacket thingy. And then this one is a beaver canoe. It's red and it's got the little hood. So it's the pink one, but she doesn't really like things on her head, so we always like snap it back. I don't know if we've tried this one on her yet, but anyways, yes, we finally measured our baby, and so now we're able to dress her up a little bit and make her a little bit warmer because it's there's a lot of snow out there. So anyways, doing all of that is just all at once. It's been a little overwhelming. It's hard for me to like commit to all of it. Something I've self-reflected on over the past like year or so is that like it's important not to like take on too many things, like new changes all at once. Otherwise you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. I mean, maybe some people do okay with it, but usually I only do okay with it for a week or two, and then I'm just like, whoa, this is too hard. This is too much. That's why I think for some people, like going vegan, like straight, like from omnivore to vegan, like right off the get-go is a little too hard. So honestly, if you've ever tried that and you can't do it, it's not sustainable for you, I would just recommend like introducing vegan meals into your life. And then like just like cutting out certain things, like cutting out certain meats, and then eventually you're without all meat, and then cutting out some dairy, even if it means all dairy except for cheese, because like cheese is addictive and people are like there's like addictive qualities. I don't know if it's in cheese or if it's in dairy. I think it's in cheese. There's some sort of addictive like enzyme or something. Yeah, so just cutting it out progressively until you're able to sustain it. So I feel very strongly about that, about doing that with like other areas in your life as well. Yeah, so I'm trying not to be hard on myself on the fact that I'm like not really able to follow this whole entire thing completely, because I'm at least trying, and trying is better than like not trying. Yeah, it'll get you there a little bit, quite a bit slower. But if you just trust the process, like I keep hearing this. There's this girl that I started following. What's her name? Shrink with some, oh God. You've probably heard of Jordan Shrinks. She was saying to trust the process. And so it was, or was it her? There's this girl named Brianna Leahy. I don't remember. I'll post their thingies up on the screen. But I think I'm pretty sure she was like talking about just trust the process. I really like a lot of the things that she posts like on Instagram and stuff like that. I would definitely recommend following her. She's all about the body positivity. So she'll show like the picture of a person when they're posing to and like it makes them look all skinny and flattering and blah. And then like right next to it, just how, you know, when she's just being comfortable with herself, how she looks like, you know, like how the tummy actually looks, how it's supposed to look. She posts that like all the time. And then she takes herself, like these little cute video clips that she's been doing where she like takes herself out on a date. And then she just eats whatever she wants, blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't know, it's cute. And just does what she wants. And she just seems happy. Of course, it's just social media, right? So deep down, she might actually be struggling with other things. I don't know. I just only started following her, but I just find like her posts and like the stuff that she writes and talks about is like very motivating and very lovely, and it's very uplifting. Yes. So I'm trying to include a bit more of that into my life. So there's like so much negativity. I even have like friends on my Facebook that I feel like are such big downers. Like every time I post something or I see another friend that's mutual friends with them that posts something, and then they'll just write something so negative on their posts, and I'm just like, ugh, I'm just getting so tired of it. And it's frustrating that like when someone is trying to talk about their weight loss journey, or they're trying to like, I think I talked about this in the last video, just like encourage people, that you're like being told that you're possibly like body shaming, or like it's too much of a diet culture, or like toxic positivity and stuff like that. I mean, I realize all those things are a thing, but like at some point you just want to like just encourage people, and you just want to surround yourself with those like-minded people that are just want to be encouraged and want to try to be happier with their lives, because everyone's obviously going through something. But I think we can all strive to try to have some happy days. Like, yeah, obviously we're going to have some pretty shitty days, and there's obviously going to be some people that are going to have more shitty days than others because they're actually suffering through depression. Like, I don't know. Life is hard, especially with social media. I don't know. Maybe I just need to like stop using social media so much. I think that's it. Because it gets tiring. But again, like that's another thing, like it's just another thing that I need to work on, and it's so hard for me to like work on everything. And so this is why I think people, when they do have kids, that they start to lose themselves, because you don't have time to like focus on like going to your appointments for your own health, and time to like relax and like to like catch your breath and to think, because the times that are like that you do get to like think and stuff like that are times where you need to like clean up the house because it's like a mess. I don't know. Anyways. Does anyone else get jingles in their head and they're just like, what is that jingle? It's like, do 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 do. Like, what is that? I've had this happen to me like since I was young, probably since I started watching commercials. The first one I remember was like the Nutcracker. Somebody else like humming the Nutcracker tune. I don't remember how it goes right now, but I was like, what is this tune? And then I'm watching the commercial and the Nutcracker thingy comes on, and I'm like, oh, is that okay? Yeah, since I'm now no longer going to pole dance this Sunday, I'll be able to go to the farm sanctuary. Yay! Because I was going to go on Monday, which means like nobody else would be there to help me like volunteer, which makes it a little bit harder. And then sometimes the animals are some of them are a little bit more bossy or aggressive, and you're like, I don't like to be alone with them when they're like that. You never know when you're going to show up and they're going to be like that. So yeah, I'm very happy that I'm going on Sunday when there's going to be other people there. But yeah, I can't wait to start pole again. Hopefully I'll be able to do that plus massage. Hopefully it's not too hard on the wrist and hands. And then, yeah, I'm just waiting for the X pole. I don't know if it was chrome or what kind it was, to come back in stock so I can order one and like get it set up in the house so I can practice at home. Yay. And then something else that Jeff and I have been discussing a little bit is like trying to decide when we'll go traveling again. So this is something exciting. I don't know how many people have gotten this far. If you have, that's great. Thank you for continuing to watch with my rambles and going back and forth about this child stuff, because it's like on my mind, but it's hard to discuss and very emotional. And I'm afraid of like the comment section might be like super heated. Please don't be heated. Anyways, so putting that on hold. Something I'm super excited about is the idea of like maybe traveling a little bit next year. So Cheap Lazy Vegan, if you guys follow her, she's another YouTuber. She put out a questionnaire. Has anyone else that's watching this like answered her questionnaire? Are you excited? Are you like hoping to like go travel with her too? Apparently I asked them, Daniel will be joining. That's her best friend that does the podcast with her, Savage Podcast. They're super funny. I was like, oh, it'd be such a riot if you both went. And they're like, yeah, definitely I'm coming and if this happens. And I'm like, sweet. So anyways, Jeff and I filled it out. I don't know how many people are able to come, but basically I'm assuming she gets paid to be able to go. And then, so you just fill out like whether or not you're interested and like which areas of the world you'd be interested in going. And then like how much money like you'd be able to budget. And then which months you'd be open to like traveling. That way it would help her plan her trip. So I'm pretty excited if that could happen. That would be pretty fun. And then I don't know if it'll be next year or the year after. Jeff and I have been talking about going to London, England for a bit. In that general area. It's pretty expensive though. And we do need to update the shingles on our house. So there's that. And that's pretty expensive because, yeah. I think the kind of, when we got like our house inspected, the person quoted us saying it would be probably about $10,000 or more. I was like, what? That's money I could like put to travel. And that's another thing, like when you have kids, like all the money that I've set aside for like retirement and just doing all these other things, obviously I'm going to have to put towards the kid. So like, do I ever get to retire? Since I work for myself, I really need to open up the thingy where you pay for that. Because I don't even remember what it's called right now. But like there's some sort of taxes or whatever that you pay, or like that's taken off each paycheck of yours. It's not a tax, I don't think. Off of each of your paycheck, and it goes towards retirement. But when you work for yourself, unless you set that up, you're not really getting that. So yeah, next year I'm hoping to travel a little bit. Hopefully COVID won't be too crazy. Hopefully we don't have to get our booster shots. Let's not talk about COVID. Okay, let's just stop. I'm just oh God. No, I'm really hoping that booster shots isn't a requirement. But anywho. Shouldn't it be enough that we're double vaccinated? Can we just stop, please? Can it just be over? I have a feeling that it's going to go all the way through next year and possibly into 2023, but I'm just really hoping it doesn't go into 2023, you guys. That's the one thing that everyone has in common right now during these COVID times, these crazy COVID times, is that everyone just can't wait for it to be over. Can I get a cheers to that? Yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll finish up my brookie. Take my girl for a walk. try to get exercise in. And then, yeah, the reason why I have a little bit more time today is because I actually only have 2 clients instead of 3, which is nice. It's nice every now and then to have like a shorter day. Helps me. Like I was starting to feel really down these past few weeks. And then on Saturday I had 2 no-shows. How rude. Basically no-shows when they just don't show up. So you're waiting for them and then you call them and then they're like, oh yeah, right, like this happened. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? So I wasn't waiting around for you. Anywho, so that kind of like messed me up all week until today. Now I'm just able to chill out a little bit and like process things and just relax a little bit more. So for those of you that made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to create some discussions down below on your thoughts about having children, the pros and the cons. If you have children, let me know like what your day-to-day life is. If you know me personally and you don't really want to like put that right in the comment section for everyone to read, feel free to like message me, but just know that if you do put it out there, like it might be helpful to someone. So that's the reason why I wanted to get this conversation going, is because I think it's a helpful conversation to be had and it could really help people determine whether or not they want children or not. Yeah. Excuse me. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bitch, peace and love. Till next time. Bye.